Well, well, well. Great day today. Sunny San Diego. I just want to send a big shout out to everybody who's getting ready to come on tonight. And tonight's show is about loyalty. Are you loyal to the organization? You know, that loyalty thing we often talk about, as being Freemason Eastern Stars. Giving or showing the firm and consistent support, allegiance to an organization such as the Freemasons in the Eastern Star. Are you that loyal individual, that person who's willing to go all the way for the organization in regards to your obligation that you're taking? Are you just loyal to that person, to that individual in leadership? See, there's a difference in being loyal to the organizations versus being loyal to the individual in leadership. And I believe, from what I've seen in my 30 years, 32 years in this organization as a Freemason, I find that most people, not all, but most of them, become loyal to the individual in office, and that's not it. That is not it. I disagree with that. And if you want to charm in tonight, if you want to give a call to tonight's show, that number is going to be 619-985-1184. And we're going to have this conversation because a lot of people talk about Freemasonry and that they're loyal to the organization and that they're this and they're that. And they're not. They're really not, because they're totally missing the essence of the organization, because their mindset is on the individual, the leader of the organization. That's where their mind is at. And the process is, when you see that a leader is in violation of the very thing that he or she said that she would not be in violation of, and when you see that and don't stand up and say anything, you tell me you're following the leader. And you're disregarding your oath, your obligation to the organization as an elected officer. That's what you're doing. You can't tell me if I'm wrong. Call me up tonight or even text in the chat room and say, brother, you're wrong. So I'm just going to give a big shout out to those who've getting ready to come on, because tonight's show is one of them shows that most people don't like to talk about, but they talk about it behind closed doors. And that is the members of the Freemasons and Eastern Star. How loyal are they to the organization versus the leader? You're an Eastern Star. You're a Freemason. You've been initiated, passed, and raised in a regular constituted Grand Lodge, or regular constituted lodge, that is. Then let's have that conversation. If you're a member of the Order of the Eastern Star and you have walked the Lambeth and you've been initiated into those 5 points of the order, let's have that conversation. How loyal are you? Are you loyal to the organization or to the leader? Because there is a difference. There is certainly a difference. We're going to have that conversation tonight as I put on the double-headed, put them double-headed and put them wings on. As the song say, some glad morning when this life is over, we're going to fly away from here. So I'm going to go ahead and start flying right now. So let's have that conversation tonight. And I'm hoping that my administrator come on. And I don't think he knew I was coming on tonight, Brother Jackson. I came on a little earlier tonight because, I'm getting ready to do some things, and I didn't want this to get in the way of what I was about to do. So I decided to come on a little earlier tonight. And I'm hoping that Brother Jackson will find me and come on and definitely keep the chat line open for tonight. I'm going to see, can I get him on and see where he's located at, and let him know that, hey, come on, we're about to go on tonight, so I need you on the show tonight, Brother Jackson. Brother Jackson, we're about to go on the show tonight, so if you can, please log on. Thank you very much. So that's a shout out to my administrator who comes in and makes sure that things get taken care of. So if you want to call us tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. And that number again is going to be 619-985-1184. Brother Brian Darnell, what's going on? A lot of people are loyal to the leadership. You doggone skippity are. And this is what we're about to get down tonight. It's about to, oh, you did, yeah, it is, because look, let's have some serious conversation tonight, be it in the chat room or be it through phone calls. Too many times we have people in the organization, they get elected to leadership, they do some foul things as leaders, And then there are those who just follow the leader because he's doing some good things for them. He's hooking them up with some extra benefits. You know what I mean? Maybe he's paying for their room for the night at Grand Session, or even at the Supreme Board session. Or maybe he promised you a seat that if he or she gets into office, I'm going to make sure you get right behind me. See, that is the craziness thing that we find in an organization. That is not how the organization should be run at all. You want the best person in leadership that's going to take the organization in a direction that's going to help it to grow and help it to prosper. But a lot of times we put those people in leadership. Oh, he's been there for like 5 years. He deserves the opportunity. No, just because he or she has been in a seat for 5 years and they haven't moved from that seat in 5 years, that might be telling you something. Maybe they're not ready to go to the West, or maybe they damn sure ain't ready to go to the East. If you're still sitting in the South or the North, depends on what lodge or chapter you may be in. I'm just putting it out there the way it should be put out, because what happens a lot of times, we're going to follow the individual instead of following the organization. And this is what we get. This is why some brothers and sisters decide to say, I'm done with it. You leave a bad taste in their mouth because you have said, look, we're going to do right. And they put you in office knowing that you have said, we're going to do right. We're going to follow the rules and regulations. We're going to do what's right for the organization. And you get in leadership. You get there and you turn your back on the very people that put you in office because you have promised Joe and Mary Ann a seat in some other house or another. And now they're waiting on you to come through with your promise because they're following you and they're not following the organization in the way it should be led. And now you scared because if you speak out, they're going to kick you out. Oh, trust me. Oh, yeah. Been there, done that. Oh, you damn right. So let's have a serious conversation because you know it's true. Come on, brothers and sisters. You know it's true. You know if you speak out, they're going to kick you out. You know if you say certain things and people get wind of because the Grand Master's not doing what he's supposed to do. He's not following the Constitution and bylaws of the organization. And you know this. And you speak out, you know they're going to look at you foul. Like, why she going against the Grand Matron? Why he going against the Grand Master? Why they plotting? It's not that they plotting. They see that you're not doing what you said you was going to do. They see that you, as a worthy matron, as a Grand Matron, is falling short. So they talking. They saying, look, she ain't doing right. You swore that you would uphold the Constitution and the bylaws. So I'm looking at the Constitution and bylaws. I'm looking in there. And you're not doing none of the things that you said you would do. As a matter of fact, you're violating every one of them. You're making laws you're making laws and people are looking for the law and their bylaws and their Constitution, and there's no such thing. You know, that's the thing. Greetings, Grandmaster. How you doing, Grandmaster Larry? Appreciate you. I'm going to tell you a story. This is the true story. This is true. And for those of you who may know this story, because I know you're going to watch this video, look, Council of Grand Lodges, all right? It is, if you are a part of a General Grand Masonic Congress, the Council of Grand Masters is just like that, okay? It's like that. The Council of Grand Masters, the president does not run your state. The General Grand Masonic President does not run your state. But some of the Grand Masters are so weak. So weak, they come and tell you what to do in your state and you bow down. You so coward, you don't have no heart to stand up to the General Grand Masonic President or the President in the office of the Council of Grand Masters. You so weak to you just give in. They tell you anything. There's no such thing as the protection of the Supreme Council. There's no such thing as the protection of the Council of Grand Lodges or General Grand Masonic Congress. Where did you get that from? I tried to look that up. There's no such thing. Not Masonically speaking. You made that up. Disaffiliation. That's a made up word. I understand the word disaffiliate, but you can't disaffiliate a Mason. You can't disaffiliate an Eastern Star. There's a process. And too many times, most Grand Lodges, I ain't saying all, but a lot of them violate that. They kick people out without due process. You know you do it. You've done it. You've seen it done, and you was too scared to say something because they were going to kick you out next. Hell, it happened to me. I'm telling you the truth. Most of us are too afraid to stand up to the Grand Master, to the Grand Matron, to the Lucifer Master, to the Worthy Matron, because you know when you do, they're going to come after you. You next. Even when you know you're right, you have read the rules and regulation that governs your chapter, your lodge, your grand chapter. You know what the rules said. You're not trying to say, well, this what it may have meant. You know exactly what it means by the words that is on the paper, black and white. And you try to show that to them. And they look at you like boo-boo. You know they do. And then before you know it, you being brought up on charges. And you're like, well, why y'all bringing me up on charges? Because you disrespected the office of the Grand Master. You disrespected the office of the Grand Matron. What do you mean disrespected? When you're in leadership, you best believe you're going to get disrespected, but that doesn't give you the right to try to kick out members because you feel disrespected. With leadership, when you are in leadership, you should suspect, you might as well just bow down and grunt, knowing that somebody's going to say something about you, be it true or be it a lie. Somebody's going to say something about you. You might as well suck that up. They're just part of being a leader. Suck it up and get over it. So if somebody says something about you and it's not true, it is not for you to go after them and try to put them out. Just say it's not true. But if they can prove it, now that's different. If they're saying something about you that can be proven, then brother, you being who the Grand Master, or whatever your position may be in leadership, you best believe they coming at you. You best believe that. But no, too many times, we sat by idly and watched the Grand Master, Grand Matron, General Grand Masonic President, Council of Grand Lodges President, most Pusan Sovereign Grand Commander. We watch them do some of the most corrupt shit we do, and we don't say nothing. Some of us can't say anything because we're not on that level yet. But those who are 33rd degree and Grand Inspector Generals, who have voting rights, you sit by and just go along with it. You're so moist, it's unreal. You're dripping. That's what you're doing. You're just dripping. You're just holding the seat because the most Pusan Sovereign Grand Commander offered you a seat. So now you're the general, the Grand Master, what they call it, the Grand Minister of State in your Supreme Council. You're the Grand Chancellor in your Supreme Council because the most Pusan Sovereign Grand Commander offered you a seat. But you have no integrity about yourself. And that's the thing. Most Masons and Eastern Stars are losing their integrity, their character, the thing that makes them, because they're going to get a seat. Well, he said that if I do this, I can get the seat. Man, forget a seat. For those of you who have been raised, you remember those final words? You remember them words? My life you can have, my integrity you cannot. Damn it. I'm quite sure you remember the words. But what you do, you forget. You forget what you said. Ugh. Yeah, I'm a little hot tonight. I'm a little hot because I see things happening in the various General Grand Masonic Congresses. And I see people just sit idly by and don't say anything. But then I see when presidents, let me say this here too. I see when the president tries to do something right, he get a lot of pushback sometimes. He does. But on top of that, I see Grand Masters try to do some things right, and they get pushed back. But that's going to come along with the seat. But when you are truly in leadership position, and you don't do what's right by the craft, or by the sisterhood, or by the General Grand Masonic Congress, or by the Scottish Rite and York Rite, and you're the most Pusan Sovereign Grand Commander, and you're in these positions of leadership, and you don't do right by the craft to try to build them up, to try to grow the organization, and try to lead them in a very basic way to where they're going to prosper, and all you do is tear down, you kick states out of your Congress. I don't want that state in. You know why you don't want them in? Because they're trying to tell you how to do things right. But you pissed at them. You mad because they're trying to show you, say, hey, look, this is not right. But you're so hell-bent on trying to get to them, trying to kick them out, to when you look around in your Congress, ain't no damn body going to be there. And you're going to be left alone by yourself in leadership. How you going to go to a national convention, and all you got is 150 people there. Tell me if I'm lying. That's a truth. That's truth. Yeah, I'm hot tonight. I'm hot because I see the things that happens, and I see those who has the capability of speaking up. Some of them get shut down, but after they get shut down, they get quiet. I see Grand Masters sitting in the General Grand Masonic Congress shaking in their boots because the president of the Congress has said these things. Y'all the one elected him, and you scared? You so moist, you dripping. And this is just where I'm at. Because we should know better. I don't care if it's the Congress of Grand Lodges, the General Grand Masonic Congress. I don't care if it's the Congress of Grand Masters of North America. I don't care what Congress it is or what you call it that unifies the Grand Lodges. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But I guarantee you most of the Grand Masters are afraid to stand up to their person in leadership. They are afraid. They scared because you're going, well, our Grand Lodge may get kicked out. That has nothing to do with your sovereignty. Most General Grand Masonic Congresses will invade your sovereignty. They'll tell you what to do and how to do it. They'll tell you how to get down. They will. And what you gonna do? Get down. Look, a Grand Lodge that is truly sovereign, you don't mess with the Grand Master State, because he'll tell you where to get down at. You don't come to his state trying to demand of him some things. You don't have that power, Mr. President of the various General Grand Masonic Congresses, Council of Grand Lodges. You don't have that privilege, that power, because your title says President. It doesn't say Grand Master. See, there's a difference. You need to understand what the title says. What's your position? If you're in the position of leadership as far as Grand Master is concerned, you run your state. If you're in the position of Grand Matron, you run that Grand Chapter. Okay? See the difference? Grand Matron runs the Grand Chapter. Grand Master runs the whole damn state. Okay? That's how it gets down. Now, the General Grand Masonic Congress or the Council of Grand Lodges or the Council of Grand Masters of North America, whatever you want to call it, see, they come in and they bring cohesiveness amongst the Grand Lodges. That's their job. They don't go into nobody's state and try to tell the Grand Master or the Grand Matron what to do. Now, if the Grand Master calls them into the state, wants to have a conversation, that's between them. But you don't go in trying to tell the Grand Master what to do. But this is what happens a lot of times. And this is why, this is what gets me so upset. Because Grand Masters cow down. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to deal with it. No, you deal with it like a man. That's how you deal with it. You deal with it like a grown woman. That's how you deal with it. Grand Matrons don't want to listen to the Grand Master. They want to go and talk to the Supreme Grand Chapter. The Supreme Grand Chapter can't protect you. You come up under the Grand Lodge. They are the ones that protect you. You're under the protection of the Supreme Grand Chapter. No such animal. You're under protection of your Grand Lodge estate. That's who you're under protection of. Now, if the Grand Chapter as a whole, if your Grand Chapter as a whole vote and say, you know what, we good. We're going to leave and we want to take our membership under another Grand Lodge in our state. However you want to do it. And you do that as a whole, that's, hey, y'all did it. Y'all left. Okay? But you can't take the charter. No, you can't take the charter because the Grand Lodge issues that charter to that Grand Chapter because that's who you work under. That's who issues it. So you got to change your whole name. Yeah, that's true. But let me tell you this here on the flip side. If there are sisters who want to stay and work under that Grand Lodge, they maintains everything. You're going to probably say, well, where do you get this information from? Let me tell you where I get this information from. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you exactly where I get it from, so we will have no mistake about it. I want each of you, and I would like for each of you, as I said once again, especially for the sisters, I want the sisters to get themselves a Maccas jurisprudence. Yes, I said it. And I want the brothers not only to get themselves a Maccas jurisprudence, I want them to get them a Freemasonry law book, a Masonic law book. Hold on. That's what you need to get, because a lot of you don't even get it. You don't understand it. You're too pissed off at the wrong person. You know? So, this is what you need to get. If you think I'm lying about anything I'm telling you about, you need to get yourself a Lockwood Masonic Law and Practices. This breaks down everything. This is you talking about Mackey's being the Bible? I'm putting this over Mackey's, plain and simple, because this is set in stone. All right, this breaks it all down. Period. And especially if you're going to abide by those 24 landmarks in Freemasonry, if you're going to abide by those landmarks in Freemasonry, this is going to break those down. Okay? It's going to break it all down. So I'm encouraging any and every Mason to put in your library a Lockwood Masonic Law and Practice. All right? You put this in there, we can have plenty of conversations about the do's and don'ts in a Grand Lodge setting, OES chapter setting. We can have that conversation all day. But what happens is most brothers are afraid because they don't know. And so when the Grand Master speaks, they're going to take the Grand Master or Grand Matron word for it. You know, it's cool. I mean, if the Grand Matron and Grand Master is up front and they give you their word, that's including any person in leadership, it's cool. But I want you to go back and research what they said and see if it's true or not. That's what you do. See, a lot of times that doesn't happen, and then we looking and wondering what's going on. What's going on is that the person you put in leadership is foul. That's what's going on. What's going on is because they've been in that position for 5 years. Now you feel sorry that they should be the Grand Master or the most puissant sovereign Grand Commander, or they should be this. What? No. You got to show and prove yourself. If you can't show and prove yourself, you need not to be in the position. But no. This is, you know as well as I know. When it comes time for elections, some brothers go get people that you have never seen come to a lodge meeting, but they dues are paid up. And they go out and they talk to them, and they bring them to a lodge meeting. Before you know it, they've elected them in the office. And they themselves hadn't even been to a lodge meeting in God knows how long. But because their brother or their sister has been in contact with them, now they feel some type of way. Well, you know what? You have been calling me. You have been checking in on me. I'm going to come. We're going to put you in office. And once he get in office, that brother and sister don't come to the lodge meeting no more. But they got that person in office. And he's just as foul. He's stealing money. She's stealing money. Can't account for it. Don't want to audit the books. Don't want to show where the money is going. You don't want to be clear on what's happening in your chapter, in your lodge, your grand lodges. Yeah, that shit happens. Oh, let's talk about that tonight. We need to have that conversation because some of you brothers, some of you sisters, you just based everything off on what the Grand Master, Worthy Matron, Grand Master, Worshipful Master, and Grand Matron and associate, whatever matron, leadership. Everything they say is gold. No, everything they say is not gold. It is not. With leaders, when you're in leadership, look, there are some responsibilities. You're responsible for the craft and the sisterhood. You are responsible for them. But if all you ever going to do is be foul while you're there, God knows when it comes to election, you got to go. You have got to go because you've done some. Had to sip on some water for that one. You just messed it up. And you know you have. So as I continue my journey and I'm saying these things, man, I'm like, golly, really? So you mean to tell me we got these Grand Masters sitting up in here and you guys are bringing a brother up on charges and none of you Grand Masters stand up and say this is not how it's supposed to be done? You let it happen? Oh, he's a new Grand Master. The hell with that. If he's a Grand Master, he should know the rules and regulations of how you should know. You're a Grand Master? Oh, well, she's a new worthy matron, Grand Matron. What? I don't care if she's new. She's supposed to be able to uphold the Constitution and bylaws. Simple as that. And this is what messes up a lot of organizations, because you put people in these positions that don't know the rules and regulations. They don't know. So they're listening to somebody on a national level tell them how to do work on their state level. Now from line, somebody needs to punch in. That's not true. Oh, it's true because I've seen it for myself. And I know it happens because people call me up and say, Brother Hawkins, did you know such and such and such? What? Yeah. Oh yeah, it gets down like that. I'm just sending a big shout out. First of all, I just want to say welcome, Brother DJ, to the show. Brother Larry, thank you for coming on. I appreciate those. Brother Shaheed, what's going on with you? Brother Bay, appreciate you clocking in tonight. You know, this show is about being loyal to the organization, not to the leadership. This is what this is all about. Too many times we have brothers and sisters that are not loyal at all. They'll sell you out before you know it for a position. They will cut your natural throat for a position, and you know they would. And then they're gonna look and say, "Well, shit, I don't know what he's talking about. It wasn't me. Oh, it was you. You was plotting behind me. You knew damn well what you was planning on doing. You knew, and you plotted against me." It reminds me about them ruffians who plotted against Harriman and Biff. That's what it boils down to. But oh, that's a true story. It may be veiled in allegories, it may be hidden, but the story is true in life. It's a true life story. Oh yeah, if you've gone through it, you know exactly what I'm saying. You have experienced somebody in your organization, be it the Eastern Star or the Mason, that you thought for sure had your back. Oh, they was that ride or die. You call them up, they there. Hey, let's go. They there. You know they there. Now when the rubber meets the freeway, when the rubber gets on the road, when it gets to get hot, you know how it gets to get hot. Oh, they ain't nowhere to be found. You looking back, you got to look way back, because they done left you. You out front trying to stand up, put your chest out, telling somebody what's wrong and what's right because you have read the rules and regulations, and you look back and you thought that you had some backup. Shit, they back up. They back way up. And then you looking like boo-boo the fool out here by yourself. And now the leadership that you going up against is looking at you like, yeah, you by yourself, talking about right and wrong. And then they're going to look around in a few years and see that they're by themselves. You're going to a national convention with 150 people, but you national. I'm just saying that's a true story. And I'm not lying about none of it. I'm just not giving you the names of the organization for which I'm talking about. That's where that's at, because I've seen it for myself. And it just bothers me that nobody stands up and say anything. It bothers me because this organization is supposed to be about loyalty. We're supposed to be about brotherly love, relief, and truth. That's what this organization is based upon. Charity to your fellow man. The fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, right? The sisterhood, you know, the 5 attributes of a woman: the mother, the daughter, the sister, the wife, the widow, the friend. It's all there. But what you do, you toss it out the window. You don't even think about the process that it went through for you to get to where you at. You're too busy chasing a seat. Oh, I want to put on that fancy collar. See, let me tell you something about me. A seat don't make me. A seat don't make me. I am who I am with or without the station. I am. And I'm loyal to the organization, not to an individual. It's to the organization. That's where my loyalty lies. Ask anybody about me that know about me in the state of California. My loyalty lies to the organization, period. If my grandmaster says, well, Brother Hawkins, such and such and such and such, we sit down and have that conversation. That's my grandmaster. And we agree to disagree, but we're not going to walk away trying to cut each other's throat. No. I can say that about the grandmaster I know right now. I can say that about him. And a couple of others that have gone before me and after me. And then I can say something about those who've come before me. I've seen them cut somebody's throat. I've seen it. Where the grandmaster didn't want to step out of office. knowing it's his time. The bylaw says, look, you have served your term. You have to step out. This Grandmaster was so pissed, he was like, no, I ain't going nowhere. Tell me you ain't never seen it. Oh, that's what I figured. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm saying. To all brothers and sisters, please keep your comments on the level and on topic. Please hit the like button. Oh, I appreciate that. And if you want to call into the show, you can definitely do that. That number is 619-985-1184. Greetings, Brother Art. How you doing? Big Coop, greetings to you. Brother Ham, Grand Lodge, oh, you out of New York. Ham Grand Lodge out of Omega. That's out of New York, if I'm not mistaken. Greetings, my brother. How you doing? All right. Prince Finley, how you doing? I thought clandestine didn't have a charter. See, you all messed up. You need to get yourself a Masonic law book and practices. And then you'll have a better understanding when you go to call somebody clandestine. And do you need for me to break that word down to you a little bit more there, Brother Finley or Sister Finley, Princess? Do you need that to be broken down to you? Because I swear that some of you tend to forget what the true meaning of the word, and not based on what somebody calls another person. I'm just saying. But that's not tonight's show. Tonight's show is about being loyal to the organization and not to individuals. That's what tonight's show is about. Hawkins, do you think the coordinate bodies have amassed more influence or power, which places a Grand Master? Yeah, I do. I really do. I can't say that amongst white Masons, or I can't say that amongst mainstream Freemason. I can't say that, but I believe that they have. Hold on just a second. Let me get this call. Hello? It is. Are you calling into the show? Yeah, who am I speaking with? Mike? All right, Mike, are you a Mason? Where you hail from, Mike? Hold on a second. All right, so tonight we got Mike on the phone. He says he's from the Grand Lodge of Grand Lodge of Kansas. Did I say that, Brother Mike? Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, Grand Lodge of Kansas.
Grand Lodge of Kansas. All right, hold on. I think I need to turn my volume up a little bit more. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second. Okay, I got my volume turned up, and I think you probably need to speak up a little bit louder for me. I appreciate it if you will.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on 1 minute. Let me put my headphones in. I think my phone messing up.
All right. So as this brother here, as he gets himself situated, I want to say I appreciate him calling in. But we need to understand, brothers. I'm going back to what Brother Alex asked. He asked, do I believe that the appending bodies have more influence over the Grand Lodge of State? I believe that they do. I really do. And that's not the way it's supposed to be at all. Because if the Grand Master doesn't want to practice the York Rite or Scottish Rite in his state, he doesn't have to. If the Grand Master chooses not to practice the York Rite or Scottish Rite in his state, it's a wrap. He doesn't even have to have the Shriners in his state. It's a done deal.
Yo.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to me, brother.
All right, man. I'm battling something, right? So when I joined Masonry, it was in 2013, right?
Right.
And so I joined I'm a you feel me? I ain't gonna say I'm a nigga, but I'm a black man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Go for it.
You feel me? So I joined, and it was cool down when I was in Kansas, but I don't know what made you say Texas, but I moved down to Texas, you feel me? And now I'm looking for a new lodge, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's like, man, I'm not going to Prince Hall because I'm not Prince Hall. I'm ancient free and accepted Mason.
Mm-hmm.
But every lodge I look at is more of whites and Mexicans, and it's more like, do I feel comfortable going to these lodges and stuff like that? around these people? Do they look at me the same as a black brother would? You know what I'm saying? And so having a disconnect with it. So it's like I ain't traveled in a minute. And I'm a young brother, you feel me? I'm 27 years old. I paused because I'm finna turn 28 soon.
Okay.
You feel me? So it's like
I'm gonna share this with you. There are quite a few Grand Lodges in the state of Texas that I personally know. Okay, and I know how they operate. I know how they carry themselves. I'm comfortable with saying this is a good Grand Lodge or that Grand Lodge is. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that because I know them. Okay. Now on the flip side of that, some brothers may not be comfortable. Now, if you want me to tell you, I don't know exactly where you at in Texas. I could tell you where some good Grand Lodges are in Texas if you choose to stay ancient, free, and accept the Mason, because there are quite a few there.
That's the thing. The only Grand Lodge here in Texas that I would be recognized by is the Grand Lodge of Texas.
Well,
it's only one Grand Lodge here.
Okay. And okay, so why don't you join the Grand Lodge of Texas? Mainstream. Is that what the one you're referring to?
Yes.
Why don't you join it?
I am, but it's more like in Kansas, I was in the military, so it felt like I came under a brother, you feel me, and he later became the worshipful master, and it was like, okay, it's cool, but down here, I'm coming in as a new black person, and it ain't no black people in the lodge. It's like, where do I go from here? You feel me?
Well, brother, I'm gonna tell you this here. I know of a brother that is, he was a member of the Grand Lodge of Texas. He's a black brother, and I can get you in contact with him. He still has communication with the Grand Lodge of Texas. I can get you in contact with him. You can talk to him, and y'all can go from there. There's nothing wrong with that. If you choose to go and join the Grand Lodge of Texas, be it Trent Hall Grand Lodge of Texas or Ancient Freedom Accepted Masons Grand Lodge, whatever. Let's get you in the right direction. Let's get you a place where you're going to be celebrated and not tolerated. Let's do that.
Yeah, but see, I don't want to be in I want to be in a lodge that's recognized by England, you feel me, so I can travel everywhere, you feel me?
Okay, so so check this out. So you just told me you want to be in a Grand Lodge that is recognized by England so you can travel everywhere.
Yeah, with a dues card. You feel me? I got a dues card. I want my dues card. Like my dues card on the back, it says Ancient Free and Accepted Mason, and it's valid everywhere. Like I done came down here and I done tried to. I ain't gonna say I tried to, but I am joining the Scottish Rite. I was thinking about joining the York Rite, but it's more like my dues card says it all. I ain't gotta say no words because my dues card says it all. So I don't want to be directed to somebody who that don't have the same accolades that I do.
Okay, I respect that, and I'm gonna share this with you. My Grand Lodge is not recognized by the Grand Lodge of England, but that doesn't limit me from traveling outside of the country and visit other Grand Lodges that we have amity with. See, that's the thing. Everybody think because your Grand Lodge is recognized by the Grand Lodge of England, that's the end all. And it's not. There are plenty other Masonic Grand Lodges outside of that of England.
But would that be right though? Would that be right though? Because would that not be clandestine?
No, it would not be clandestine. Because let me share this with you. The Grand Lodge of California mainstream, they don't recognize the Grand Lodge of Tennessee. Oh, you didn't know that, huh?
Hold on, say it one more time.
I said the Grand Lodge of California, mainstream Grand Lodge of California. They don't recognize the Grand Lodge of Tennessee.
They don't recognize the mainstream Grand Lodge of Tennessee?
They do not. Listen to what I said.
How is that? Why? How is that?
Because, how is that?
Because it says I'm entitled to the rights, rights, and all that. You know.
Brother, how long you been a Mason?
Since 2013.
So you haven't been a Mason that long. You don't understand the political groundwork of Freemasonry. See, there's some political things in Freemasonry that you have to understand. If a Grand Lodge does not choose to recognize you, that doesn't make you clandestine.
How does it not, though?
Because the word clandestine means that you do things secretive. Clandestine means that you do things undercover, like the FBI and CIA.
But in our ways, it means fake. Like you're fake.
No, it doesn't.
You're not recognized. You're fake.
Okay, so here's what you're saying. If the Grand Lodge of California doesn't recognize the Grand Lodge of Tennessee, who's clandestine?
But that I don't see that happening. I don't see how.
Brother, it happens.
Maybe that's one.
No, it's not. Okay, I got another one for you. I got another for you.
Maybe that's one particular person that you're talking about.
No,
that maybe.
Let me give you another one. Can I give you another one?
Go ahead.
The Grand Lodge of California doesn't recognize the Grand Lodge of Mississippi. Oh, you didn't know that?
Are you talking about when you say Grand Lodges?
I'm talking mainstream. I'm talking mainstream Grand Lodge. So
4-letter, ancient, free, and accepted Mason.
No. I'm talking all Grand Lodges that are mainstream are not 4-letter Grand Lodges. Some of them are free and accepted. The Grand Lodge of California, mainstream, is free and accepted Masons.
But I'm talking ancient, free, and accepted Masons. So if I go to a Grand Lodge in California, I'm going to be going under ancient, free, and accepted Masons and not free and accepted Masons.
No, you're not. If you come to California, the Grand Lodge of California is free and accepted Masons. They're not ancient unless you're talking John G. Jones.
You just put me on something then.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Brother, whatever Grand Lodge you in, you need to start doing some reading.
I didn't know that. I thought it would be ancient, free, and accepted Masons everywhere I go.
Well, ancient, free, and accepted Masons is everywhere. It just depends on what body of Masons you're looking at and looking for. If you're looking at state Grand Lodges, meaning mainstream Grand Lodges are named after their state. Grand Lodge of Iowa is white. Grand Lodge of Connecticut, not Connecticut, let's say Boston. Those Grand Lodges are named after their state. See, most black Grand Lodges have an accent to their name, like John G. Jones, Grand Lodge of California. We're not called the Grand Lodge of California. Like Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Georgia. See, they're not called mainstream Grand Lodge of Georgia. They're called Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Georgia. See, there's a difference.
Okay.
Like Modern, Free, International, Universal.
See, I don't know about nothing about that. All
I'm
I know
just
is
saying,
ancient, free, AF. I know 4-letter and 3-letter. You know what I'm
Mason
saying?
is bigger than what you're thinking. So you thinking letters. You're not thinking masonry. That's the difference. And then some of the people who are probably watching tonight's show will consider they'll say PHO, Prince Hall Origin. Oh, that's clandestine. They'll say Modern and Free. Oh, that's clandestine. International. Oh, that's clandestine. Prince Hall, Free and Accepted Mason. Oh, they're clandestine. John G. See, people have their own attitudes about the various Grand Lodges being clandestine. I know what you're trying to say, but you're not looking at the true definition of the word.
Oh, you right. You damn sure right. I'm looking it up right now as you speak, and I see in California it's free and accepted Masons. It's not ancient, free and accepted Masons.
That's
so
right.
You're right about that.
So I'm just saying, this is the important thing about being a Mason, is picking up a book and reading for yourself. Find out for yourself.
I mean, you could pick. I could pick up any book, but you feel me? I might read some different things, and you feel me? So it's like I might read some different things, but once you say it, it takes me. Once you say it, like God works in mysterious ways, right? So you might say something, and it might be like, oh shit, let me look this up. That I've looked in many books, but haven't found. So when you say it, it's like, okay. Now let me look up this specific thing that this brother is talking about. Right. And when I look it up, it's like, oh shit, damn. Yeah. That's something I didn't know. That I couldn't get from the understanding I got from these books, but he took me to something. You took me to something.
All right.
That I didn't know. So I thank you for that, bro.
Hey, that's no problem. But this is what this whole platform is all about. You know, it's not about who's right or who's wrong, but how can we help each other to see something differently? Or maybe you may be able to show me something.
Yeah.
It's not just based on the fact, even though I asked you how long you've been a Mason, and you said only a few years, well, you might just come back and say, well, brother, did you know this? And I may not know.
Yeah.
So even I can be corrected because I don't know everything.
And that's what Masonry is. We all trying to build that temple. We all trying to make that rough Asher perfect. We all gotta make that. We all gotta make shit perfect. That's what we're trying to do in this world. A lot of people think they perfect, but they not. And they might come off as seeming they perfect. They might come off seeming they perfect, but they're not. And it takes another brother to come to another brother and be like, "No, that's wrong. I'm gonna put you on something." And that's when they be like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that." So obviously, I'm not fucking perfect, right? You're right, man.
Before I do anything else, I want to send a big shout out to my brothers over in the Bahamas International. Over in the Bahamas, I just want to send you a big shout out. How you doing tonight? Just want to let you know that I see you and I appreciate you. Go ahead there, bro.
Man, I ain't really got nothing else. Actually, I do. God damn it. I'm sorry, God, for swearing to you. I'm sorry, God.
Go ahead.
But so I've been battling it against this thing about so I done contacted the Texas what you call it, Scottish Rite in Texas, right? And so it's down here where I'm at. If you do some research, you'll know exactly where the fuck I'm at. The shit is down here where I'm at. The cathedral is down here where I'm at. And so it was the Scottish Rite, and then I was like, man,
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do one better for you. There's a brother in the chat line right now. His name is Terrell Morgan. Brother Morgan. Hit him up in the chat line. He can get you connected with the Grand Lodge of Texas because he's an African American brother. He's from there. He's been a part of the Grand Lodge of Texas. He can hook you up if you're serious.
I'm dead, man. I'm dead ass serious, but I don't see him in his chat though.
Oh, he's in there. What? His name is Terrell Morgan. Montgomery. I'm sorry, Terrell Montgomery.
Oh, I see him.
Yeah.
Terrell Montgomery. Yeah, I see him.
You need to get with him. He can take care of you.
Okay, but hey, shit. Cause I can't send no messages on YouTube, so I have to do it through Facebook or some shit like that.
Well, as a matter of fact, why don't you just put your number on the chat line?
No, man. What you think this is? What you think this is?
Well, I tell you what. If you call me after the show, I'll send you his number.
All right, that's cool. That's
cool. That's better.
That's what Masonry is for, right there.
Hey,
connecting brothers. I like that.
You hit me up after the show. You hit me up after the show. I'll get you connected to him.
All right, bro. Thank you, man.
Hey, appreciate you calling in and thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, bro. So I appreciate that brother calling in, and and I would say this: he needs a little help, and I'm gonna say the reason he does is because in having a conversation with this young brother, he was looking at all of the ancient free accepted Masons as being a block, and it's not that way. There are white mainstream Grand Lodges, as we all know, that are free and accepted, and they are ancient free and accepted. So that can confuse some people. It really can. So I want to make sure that this brother goes to a place to where he's going to be celebrated and not just tolerated. And if he chooses to go to the Grand Lodge of Texas and want to become a member, my hat is off to him. Brother Terrell Montgomery, take care of that brother. We're going to make sure that brother gets to where he wants to go. And it's just that simple. So this is not about, you're talking down to another jurisdiction. No. I believe a brother should go where he's going to be happy or she's going to be satisfied with where she's at. That's what I'm talking about right there. I tried to add you on Facebook. You tried to add me on Facebook, Brother Montgomery? I thought we was already on friends on Facebook. I will make sure I give that young man his number tonight. I will definitely do that. That's for sure. So let's look. I want to go back to something that I seen in the chat line. And that's by Brother Alex Fitzgerald. He said, I believe a Grand Master who is seen outside of the lodge at work on Masonic matters increases his power and influence over coordinate bodies. I'm not going to disagree with that. But what I've seen, even though that Grand Master may be doing the work on the outside, I've seen where there's been interference from those bodies of people who are in leadership. I've seen it. But what I'm saying is this. A Grand Master is head of his state. But in the process of him or her being head of the Grand Chapter or head of state, they should have a little bit more respect for the organization. Not just because they're in leadership. And what we get is people who are in leadership have no respect for the organization. And then you look around and wonder what's going on. Why are we losing members across all jurisdictions? And this is why, because there is no loyalty. You are loyal to the individual and not the craft and not the sisterhood. See, if you was more loyal to the sisterhood and to the craft, your membership would go up. And it all depends on where you at. But your membership will increase. You know? But, hey, this is what we get. This is where we're at. If you are going to be a leader, if you're going to be a Grand Master, Deputy Grand Master, Senior Warden, Junior Warden, if you're going to be a Grand Matron, Associate Matron, Conductress, Associate Conductress, if you're going to be in them positions, you need to be putting in work, showing not only that the sisterhood put you there, but you're there and you're going to help grow the organization. If you are a Grand Master, an officer in the Grand Lodge line, and members put you in that position, you need to show, hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm working for you. And see, that's the thing. Most Grand Masters and most people in leadership forget that you work for the people. You are a servant. For the people, not yourself. Worrying about how much money you're going to get at the end of the year because they're going to make you a donation. You know? That's the craziest thing. Don't worry about your donation. Some Grand Lodges pay their Grand Masters because he does the work. Some Grand Chapters pay their Grand Matron because she does the work. If you do the work and they want to give you a stipend or they want to support you, so more it be. But if you're not doing the work and you want to know why no, you shouldn't get nothing because you don't put nothing into the organization because you're taking instructions from their coordinating bodies. You're too moist, you're too wet. You don't stand up straight. You have no spine. Somebody has ripped it out of you. You can't even stand up. You too hunchback. You too yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am. Instead of being a man and standing up for your state. Be the Grand Matron and stand up for your state. And this is what we get. This is truly what we get. I will make sure he gets that number. First of all, I want to go back and I just want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. I'm in this because I see some things that happen in Freemasonry, and I see how afraid most brothers and sisters are of standing up and saying that it's not right. And so I want to encourage you to stand up and say it's not right. And don't be afraid. There are too many other organizations out there that you can go and spend your time, your money, and your energy with instead of the one that you with when they're not doing right by the membership. Collectively. Not individuals, but membership. This is where you're at. You're more than a black man, brother. I appreciate that, Brother Bay, but he didn't quite know how to put that out there. So instead of calling himself a nigger, he called himself a black man, and I can appreciate that. But once he comes to realize who he truly is, it's a whole nother world then. It's a whole nother world. Maybe because my profile is on private, but I know Brother Brendan Lewis has just sent me a friend request. What's your Facebook? Oh, okay. All right, Brother Shady. Y'all, that's y'all in chat line talking about something else. Hey, what's up, Brother Mike Larry? PHO in the house. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, greetings. I'm just checking the chat line, just making sure that I send everybody a shout out. MJ, what's up? Never should a brother answer another brother with years or months when asked, how long have you been a Freemason? No, he did right, because my question is because I know the answer. I know what the answer should be. But I'm glad that he answered me that way, because some brothers who have only been in Freemason for a couple of years don't understand that there's a political side to this thing. Oh yeah, there's a political side to it, and they don't get to see it. And what happens is, when it happens to them, they want to know wait a minute, hold on. They want to take a step back. But there's a political side to this thing we call Freemason and Order of the Eastern Star. I don't care what jurisdiction you're in. So when the brother answered and said it's only been a couple of years, then I know how to really have a conversation with him. You know, that's where that's at. So that's why I went that way. 3-letter or 4-letter don't mean anything in mainstream world. You're right. It doesn't. It's only in the African American community that's our own unique way of communicating with each other. It's truth. That is so true. What else we got here? Oh, yeah, I agree with that, Brother Gaines. I agree with that. His Grand Lodge needs to educate on regularities and recognition. I certainly agree with that. Free and accepted Masons in general are lodges in amity with the Grand Lodge of England. If a free and accepted Grand Lodge does not recognize another, it is unusual because of discrimination or racism. Huh? I can see that. I can see that. Brother Montgomery put his number up in there. Yeah, when he called me, his name didn't pop up on my phone, and it said restricted, but I took his call anyway. Brother Edwards, you said you sent me a Facebook friend request. Also, CJ Edwards. Okay, well, I'm going to have to check that out. I tell you what, why don't you messenger me? That's the best way to do it, and then I can go and accept your Facebook request. Because I'm going to tell you now, if you send me a Facebook request, I just don't really look at them. I'm going to be honest with you, because I don't trust a lot of them that send me Facebook requests, because there's been some things said about me in a lot of the various chat groups, and people want to just send me a Facebook request and then be like trying to take pictures off my Facebook page, put them in other groups and talk about them. I've seen it. So I'm very skeptical in regards to an individual, be it male or female, who I choose to accept a friend request from. But I'm letting you know, won't you inbox me? Then we'll go from there. We'll go from there. How do a brother feel about another brother responding with years or months when asking how long you've been a Mason? Ham Grand Lodge, Omega, 17 brothers. Oh, okay, I'm back. All right, well, welcome back, brother, from the Grand Lodge of Omega. If I'm not mistaken, the Grand Lodge of Omega, I believe that's out of New York. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the one out of New York. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right on that one. Okay. All right, I appreciate that. Let them messenger me. I appreciate it. So tonight we're talking about being loyal to the organization and not to individuals. And as we move forward in Freemasonry, we must realize that individuals will totally let us down. They will. But the organization as a whole really tries to do what they should do. But sometimes we get individuals in leadership, and some of us become afraid. We don't know how to quite deal with that individual because a grandmaster has quite a bit of power per se, according to the landmarks, according to his own, according to the Grand Lodge Constitution and their bylaws. He may have certain discretions and powers that may make you suspect and want to not say nothing because of that. But what does that say about you? What does that say about you? For me, I'm not the one to set alibi and say it's okay. It's just me. That's just me. So, with that being said, I hope and I pray that everybody has gotten some out of tonight's show. Just something I want you to think about. Are you loyal to the leadership or are you loyal to the organization? That's something I really need for you to think about, because I believe from my 32 years of experience, I'm going down with the organization. I'm going with the organization, not just with the person who's in leadership. Because I know that the organization is bigger than the leader. The organization is bigger than the leader. So brothers of the craft, sisters of the order, we have decisions to make when we put these people in leadership. We got to really think about, who are they? Are they looking out for the organization or are they looking out for themselves? Because we know, for those of us who've seen it for ourselves, we know that individuals who have been in leadership have looked out for themselves. They have not looked out for the organization. We know that. There is nothing wrong with asking a brother how long he has been a Mason. If you are a proud Mason, then you should be able to answer the question without hesitation. Absolutely. If anybody else want to call in tonight, you're certainly welcome to do so. Oh, Maryland. All right, okay. Oh, definitely. I'm loyal to the organization. I heard that. I'm loyal to all my true brothers that I know who has been often tried, never denied, and willing to be tried again. Well, Brother Shaheed, put it out there then. On his power do not extend to the higher degrees, but he has a choice. Go ahead, Grandmaster. He has a choice whether to have those degrees in his jurisdiction or not. Absolutely, the Grandmaster does. You know he does, Brother Larry. I appreciate that, Grandmaster. Just Blue House. Illuminating light. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you. You are proficient in a craft, and someone asks you how long you have been a Mason. Your answer should be, I was born a Mason. Okay, all right. I've heard that one. Why you block me, sir? I don't know who you are. I can read your text, so I can't necessarily say that you was blocked. Oh, P.R. Corey. Okay. So look, you know what? It's been a great show. I appreciate you coming on. The next time you see me, I'll be somewhere else. I won't be in California. So I'm getting ready to do that Masonic work. You know what I mean? Take my trial and spread some brotherly love in cement. So the next show, is going to be entitled Blowing the Bridge Up. Because right now, that's how I feel. I really feel that we should, I'm not going to say we. I'm going to say me as an individual. Sometimes I just feel like every bridge, just blow it, just Rock 101 may have had, Rock 101, bruh, you may have said some things that really stuck in my head and I didn't know. So I'm telling you, I'm just saying, that's going to be on our next show if all goes well. We may change topics of the conversation, but I'm thinking about blowing up the whole damn bridge. You know, some people say, you know what, if you blow up the bridge, maybe you can't build that fellowship back. Well, you know what? Maybe it wasn't meant to be had anyway. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. So blow it up and kick rocks. If it was meant to happen, then it happened. If not, maybe it needs to be torn down. Maybe I need to take some of them working tools I got, instead of trying to construct that bridge, take it and tear it down and build a wall up. I'm just saying, that's how I feel sometimes, because of the mess I see, because of some of the brothers and sisters and how you carry yourselves. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. So I may have to sever my tie with you based upon how you have conducted yourself as a man and as a Mason, as a sister and as a woman. I may have to say, no, I can't get down with that. No, I can't do it. And in doing so, I may have to say, damn, that's a spider. I may have to say, I'm done with you. You know, I may have to say that. So look, I'm out. I hope everything is well with you and your family. Blessings and peace unto you. So on the next show, I'm looking forward to it. And I hope, as always, that you've gotten some out of tonight's show. So as always, peace and be well, and stay out the bushes, and definitely keep your light on. And to my administrator, Brother Jackson, I want to say thank you for coming on tonight and holding it down. Peace.